Hey everybody, it's Nelson here with another great and wonderful video. Hope everybody's having a great day today. We're going to be in Genesis 15 today, and I was looking over. I've been studying 15 throughout the day in the last few days, and I come up with some interesting points here in chapter 15 of Genesis. Let's start off with verse 1 here. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward. But Abram said, Lord God, what will you give me, seeing I go childless, and the heir of my house is Eleazar of Damascus? Then Abram said, Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, one born in my house is my heir. And then verse 4, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, This one shall not be your heir, but one who will come from your own body shall be your heir. Then he brought him outside and said, Look now toward the heaven and count the stars, if you are able to number them. And he said to him, So shall your descendants be. You need to think about Abram and his feelings here. God has already done promised him that he was going to have this giant nation, that kings were going to come out of this bloodline and all these things. But yet Sarah hadn't even had a child yet, okay? And how many times have we felt like God has promised us something and it hadn't come to pass yet? Now, how many times do we try to help God, okay? We're going to help him with his promises to bring it to pass. And, God doesn't need our help. He doesn't need our help. What he needs us to do is trust him. What he needs us to do is to be patient and wait, okay? Be patient and wait for the outcome. Don't try to push it, okay? Don't try to get the horse, don't try to get the cart ahead of the horse. I've heard a lot of people say, you're trying to get the cart ahead of the horse. Be patient. And we should be patient, and great things will come, and, like he took Abram out and said, Look at the stars up there. You'll count those stars. Look how many there are. Your descendants after you will be such a great nation that it'll be more than the stars in the heavens. And that's a lot of people, y'all. That's a lot of people. Okay. It is going to come to pass. And Abram believed God. Abram believed God. And let's move on with the reading here. Okay. So after he brought him outside and looked now toward heaven and count the stars, if you're able to number them, and he said to him, So shall your descendants be. And he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness. And because he believed God, God said, I'm going to count that to your righteousness, that you have believed me. And then he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur and of the Chaldeans to give you this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it? And he said to him, Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, and a 3-year-old female goat, and a 3-year-old ram, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Then he brought it all these things to him, and cut them in two down to the middle, placed each piece opposite the other, and then but he did not cut the birds in two. And when the vultures came down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And now, when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, horror and great darkness fell upon him. Then he said to Abram, Know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them 400 years, and also the nations whom they serve I will judge afterward. They shall come out with great possessions. Now as for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age, but in the fourth generation they shall return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. See, God has everything timed out, y'all. Everything is in God's timing. It's not going to go exactly the way that we think it's going to go, okay? God knows the future, all right? So when God promised you something, we have to wait, okay? We have to wait because there are different outcomes that must come to pass before the blessing comes, okay? Okay, God's a good God. He's a loving God. He's an awesome Father. But he's got all this timed out the way he wants it. You can't get ahead of God. All right. All right. I hope that was for somebody. Somebody. And we're gonna get right back on this. We're gonna begin chapter 17. Chapter 17. And we'll start seeing the signs of that covenant between God and Abram. Okay. I love you guys, and y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.